Amid the Syria chemical weapons crisis and Trump's continuing tweets about when the missiles might fall, a new attempt to have the special prosecutor Robert Mueller, who is investigating Trump's Russia involvements, neutralized. A war of words is raging here in the city. Prominent Trump supporters calling Mueller the head of a crime family, whilst Trump critics speak of Mueller's heroism in the Vietnam War.
It's none other than the sacked White House strategy boss, Steve Bannon, who is now urging Trump to sack the Assistant Attorney General, Rod Rosenstein, who oversees the special prosecutor's work, and then withdraw all cooperation from Mueller. The Washington Post reports that Bannon is telling allies the president should exercise executive privilege immediately and retroactively to protect himself from Robert Mueller's investigation. This week's raids by the FBI on Donald Trump's personal lawyer, Michael Cohen, threw the president into a furious rage about what he described as a disgraceful witch hunt and ramped up the threats against Mueller.
I think that the president has been clear that he thinks that this has gone too far, and beyond that I don't have anything to add, but I'd refer you back to the president's comments.
Even Trump-supporting Republicans in Congress would see firing Robert Mueller as an attack on the rule of law in America. To wit, Republican Senator Orrin Hatch's tweet in Bannon's direction. Anyone advising the president in public or over the airwaves to fire Bob Mueller does not have the president or the nation's best interest at heart. Tonight, Washington appears to be on the brink of a constitutional crisis as grave as Watergate.
Well, earlier today, perhaps ironically, I found myself in the Watergate building speaking to David Frum. His offices are there. He's a Republican columnist for The Atlantic magazine and a former speechwriter for President George W. Bush. His latest book is Trumpocracy, The Corruption of the American Republic. I asked him how near another Watergate moment he thought we now are.
We still don't know the exact contours of what happened between President Trump and the Russians. But if the situation is as bad as feared, it's a much bigger scandal than Watergate. What President Nixon did during the Watergate era, the various misdeeds that we sum up as Watergate, were different in degree but not in kind from things his predecessors had done. They had also wiretapped their political opponents. They had also gathered intelligence. They had also tried to read income tax returns. Nothing like what is alleged against Donald Trump has ever happened before in American history. Working with a hostile foreign intelligence agency against your political opponent.
Now the talk, and it's being regular, but it seems now to be very, very regular, of trying to sack either the Deputy Attorney General, who oversees the Robert Mueller inquiry, or Mueller himself.
Yes.
Will they do it?
Donald Trump's actions are unpredictable, but he may have passed a point of no return on these investigations. Remember, while the Deputy Attorney General has the power to sack Robert Mueller, stopping the Mueller investigation is a different thing. If Mueller is sacked, then Mueller is sacked. That is not the same as terminating the investigation. Now, perhaps they might appoint a substitute who would be enough of a stooge to make the investigation harmless. But it's, at this point, there are investigations that are being now cloned from the Mueller investigation. The investigation of President Trump's personal attorney, Michael Cohen, that's being handled by the Southern District of New York, the U.S. Attorney's Office. That would not be affected by the termination of Robert Mueller. And meanwhile, of course, there are states' attorneys general who are now going to look into the matter of payments and threats against women whom Donald Trump had harassed or bothered in some other way.
People have been talking about a second term for Donald Trump.
And that's very possible, sure.
But aren't we at some kind of a high watermark where whether he can go on at all will be determined?
Let me tell you what I most worry about from the investigations of President Trump. I think these investigations may produce much evidence of crimes, and they may produce much evidence of severe wrongdoing. I worry that the things that are severe wrongdoing will turn out not to be crimes, and the things that are crimes will not turn out to be the severe wrongdoing. If Mueller discovers that many people around Donald Trump had technical violations of elections law, failed to disclose as foreign agents, laundered money, he may be able to send people to prison. But Americans will not accept that as a core responsibility of President Trump himself. He may show that President Trump or his family colluded with the Russians to win the 2016 election, but that's probably not a crime. And so we may find ourselves arguing this time next year about what it means that we have a president who worked, if this is the fact, who worked with a hostile foreign intelligence agency against his opponent, but who in the process didn't trip over any criminal statutes. And that will tear at the fabric of American democracy.
David Frum, thank you very much for talking to us.
Thank you.